Oh, and yes, and welcome to the show. This is Just for Clicks, and I am Michael Buckheister, the voice behind the mic behind the voice. You know how it is. I am the king of the puns, the king of the trolls, the king of all kings. But I am out of my pun machine today. It's charging. My iPad's charging today. Forgot to charge it last night. I got home late from work, so no sound effects for today, guys. I know. I deeply apologize. But on today's show, we got the sports birthdays of the day coming up. We got my picks, and then we're going to talk about Le'Veon Bell. All that and much, much more right after the intro. And welcome to the show, guys. I'm sure you were asking yourself, what was I on last night when I was making my sports picks of the day, and I don't know what I was on, but I went 0-3 in the NBA last night. I picked the Warriors to lose. I picked the Cavs to lose, and then I also picked forgot who the other game was, but that is where we're going to start off. We're going to start with the sports pick'em of the day here, and we're going to start off where I went 0-3 last night. I know, horrible picks, but we're going to start with the association. Tonight, I got three games that I kind of circled that are close matchups that should be a great games. The first one I got on my list here is 76ers versus the Orlando Magic. I am anxious to see what the Philadelphia 76ers do with the addition of Jimmy Butler. With that youth, are they going to come together, or is it going to be Jimmy and the rest of the team, or how is he going to gel with that team? And on paper here, I do have the 76ers winning the game, but the more I think about it, I want to lean toward the Magic, but my gut tells me to go with 76ers. Jimmy Butler's going to have a great game tonight. Joel Embiid, he's going to do what he does. He's just playing really great right now. 76ers are playing great, so I'm going to go with the Philadelphia 76ers on the first game. Second game on the docket that I have here, Memphis Grizzlies versus the Bucks. The Bucks are 6-0 at home this season, and quite frankly, the trend goes on. The Bucks are, I believe they're ranked 3 in the power rankings last night when I checked. So I don't see them slipping up against Memphis. I had the Bucks, by 12 to 15 points in this one. And the ESPN game of the night, my final game on my docket, I had the Blazers versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Blazers are kind of shorthanded tonight. Damian Lillard is day-to-day. Harkins is out. And really, both these teams are on a roll in the last 5 games. They're both 4-5 in their last 5. Blazers have won 4 in a row. LA has given me 3 in a row. I just think the Lakers are clicking right now. They are finding their groove. Give me LBJ in LA. Big win for them tonight. So that's the association. Like I said, last night was just an ugly night. I went 0-3. Tonight I want to even that mark and go 500. The only game that I'm questioning right here is that 76ers Magic games. I do have the 76ers winning, but I don't know. Magic at home. It could be a very, very good game to watch. Well, let's move over to the quote unquote amateur side of the association. Last night I did go 2-0. I did pick that Wisconsin win, and also LSU did beat. Who did they play? I can't even remember who they played now. But I did go 2-0. So my college picks are a lot better than the association picks for right now. But tonight we got number 18 Michigan versus number 8 Villanova. Booth for Villanova is averaging 20 points per game with 4 assists on the season. He is probably by far their X factor on their team. When he clicks, the team clicks. Nova's averaging 93 points a game in their first 2 games. Michigan is averaging 59 points in their first 2 games. Both of them are 2-0, but by the law of averages, from the words from my man Matthew Lau, you got to go with Nova on this one. I mean, they're averaging 93 points a game. I don't see that trend stopping at all. Next up on the docket, we have number 22 Marquette versus Indiana. IU is a very solid team. They have a local talent by the name of Romeo Langford. He went to New Albany High School here in southern Indiana, where the show is based out of. He is averaging 16 points per game. And this goes along with the other solid, very young players that they have. Give me Indiana at home tonight versus number 22 Marquette in the upset. And people, look out for this Indiana team. Once they start clicking, they are going to be good. Are they Final Four good? Are they Elite Eight good? I'm not for sure yet. Give me till January to find that out, till they start in Big Ten play, to see how those young kids handle that. What is the word that all the analysts use here? They use that word of they hit that wall in January and February, and like their play really slows down and shows you, quote, who they really are. But tonight, give me that youth of Indiana, and I look for Romeo to have another really, really good game tonight. Like I said, he's averaging 16 points per game. I believe it's 5 assists as well. This kid's a very special talent, so look out for Indiana in the upcoming days, weeks, months, and hopefully years for Indiana's sakes. But I see him maybe being there 2 years tops. Like I said, he's a very, very great talent there that Indiana has brought in. So those are the picks for tonight. If you guys were listening to yesterday's show, I did pick some NCAA football games. It was the Buffalo versus Ohio, and then Miami, Ohio versus forget who they're playing. But I made those picks yesterday. For some reason I thought those games were yesterday, but those games are tonight. So if you do not remember who I picked, go ahead and check out the other podcasts from yesterday, and they'll be on there. But I don't see me going no less than 2-0, like obviously, because it's your boys' picks. I mean, come on now. Now, let's go over to the sports birthday of the day. Jack Sikma. Jack Sikma was a center in the NBA for roughly, I believe it was like 10 or 11 years. He was a first-round pick, 8th overall, to the Seattle Supersonics back in 1977. Today is his birthday. Just to give him some accolades of what he's done in his past, he did win a championship in the association with the Seattle Supersonics in 1979, for you younger folk out there. He was the most accurate free throw shooter as a center at 93%. He is the most accurate free throw shooter as a center at 93%. That's a crazy free throw percentage. I mean, mad props to him for that. He did make 7 All-Star appearances in his career, and he also averaged 16 points per game as a center for his career. So, very big happy birthday to Jack Sikma, former first round, 8th overall pick to the Seattle Supersonics. So happy birthday to you, my friend. But let's get into today's topic, Le'Veon Bell. For those of you who don't know the Le'Veon Bell saga, what has been going on, basically, this is what it is in a nutshell. Last year, the Pittsburgh Steelers offered Le'Veon Bell a contract. It was 5 years, $70 million. At that point in time, Le'Veon Bell said that $17 million guaranteed money a year was not enough. He wanted more money. He wanted a bigger contract. Well, at that current time, the Steelers are like, no, we're just going to put a franchise tag on you again. Previously, they put a franchise tag on him. I believe he made $11 or $12 million with the tag the previous year. This year, he was slated to make $14.5 million with that franchise tag. And Le'Veon Bell said, you know what? I'm not going to show up to play until I get a contract. I'm not going to do it. He didn't show up for training camp. Didn't show up week 1. Didn't show up week 2. Fast forward now to the deadline when he had to sign week 11, Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. He still has not signed that franchise tag, meaning he cannot play the 2018 football season, period. So what does that mean? That means basically he is out $14.5 million this season. He's not making no money. And I do believe he owes the Steelers some money on top of that for missing mandatory training camps and that kind of thing. I'm not 100% sure on that. I was trying to get a direct answer, but everything was so one-sided or the other. But from my gut instincts, it's telling me that he probably doesn't owe that money because technically he was not a part of the Pittsburgh Steelers during training camp and preseason games because he hadn't signed that franchise tag yet. So therefore, he technically wasn't a part of the team. So I feel that he is just out that $14.5 million that he would make this season by signing that franchise tag. So what does this mean for Le'Veon Bell? So what it means at hindsight is that once the quote-unquote football season's over, I believe it ends technically, sometime in April, either right before the draft or right after the draft. I don't have my facts on that, but I believe is right around there. So at that time, he becomes a free agent, a unrestricted free agent. What that means for us, common folk, meaning that he can go to any team that offers him money and he accepts it. If the Steelers have a chance to counter that offer, they either can match it or beat it. At that point, Le'Veon Bell signs his, big contract that he's looking for, and he's playing football somewhere next year. But I'm going to be the devil's advocate on this situation. If this does happen, the Pittsburgh Steelers receive a mid-tier second-round pick. I'm not for sure if that's this year or next year, but I do know that if they put the franchise tenured on Le'Veon Bell, meaning that he is going to become a free agent, and then they have a chance to match that thing, match the contract, and if they don't, they get that mid-tier second-round pick. But if I were the Pittsburgh Steelers, I would blackball Le'Veon Bell. I would make him suffer for basically ruining their season from what a lot of players are saying. I've seen quotes saying, fuck this guy, he's a piece of shit, etc., etc., etc. And you know what? If I was the general manager of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I would blackball Le'Veon Bell from playing from anywhere besides my team, or my terms of going somewhere else. So what I mean by that is they have an opportunity to put another franchise tag on Le'Veon Bell for next year. At that point, he would be slated to make $25 million. How these franchise tags work is they take the top 10 players of the NFL and they average out their salaries, and that is how they get their franchise tag money, if I'm not mistaken. It might even be the top 4 players. I didn't write that down, and I just don't know off the top of my head. But I know they do take the average salaries, like the top average salaries, and that's how they get their franchise tag. So next year it'll be around $25 million to franchise tag somebody. So I'm sure you're asking yourself, but Buck, if the Steelers weren't willing to pay him, more than $17 million a year, why would they pay him $25 million? Well, look at it this way. They saved themselves $14.5 million this year by not having to pay Le'Veon Bell. Okay? So if you go off what they wanted to pay him in the first place, 5 years, $70 million, 14 plus 17 is right around $25 million. Meaning they had the money. They have the money. So why not put that franchise tag on Le'Veon Bell, make him either sign that franchise tag, work out a deal with you, like a deal and trade type thing, or have him sit out another full season. At that point, Le'Veon Bell will be 28 years old next year. And let's face it, life after 30 for a running back is really non-existent. The only anomaly, sorry about the mix-up of words there, is Adrian Peterson. I believe he's 32 years old with a replaced knee, and he's doing quite well in Washington. But like I said, he is a rarity. Adrian Peterson is just a freak of nature. When you can come back from an ACL injury in 7 or 8 months, whatever he did, and perform the way he did, that is just a freak of nature right there. Does Le'Veon Bell have that in him? I don't know. He would quote unquote have 2 seasons off. So, but you're still getting older. You aren't in football shape. You haven't played football in 2 years, so you'll be out of shape. So, I'm not saying this is what the Pittsburgh Steelers would do, but if I was a general manager and I wanted to really stick it to Le'Veon Bell, I would put that franchise tag on him. I would bite the $25 million. And if he signs it, cool. As a player myself, I don't see Le'Veon half-assing it. I see him giving it all for the team. Now, if a injury comes up, like he has a quad strain or a sprained ankle, is he going to tough through it? I don't know. Probably not. But let's say he does sign this $25 million franchise tag. That gives the Pittsburgh Steelers leverage to trade him. They want more than a mid-tier second-round pick. They're looking for a first-round pick, possibly looking for 2 first-round picks. Judging by the past, that is what Le'Veon Bell is worth, is 2 first-round picks. And, kind of looking ahead here, Oakland Raiders have 4 first-round picks next year. Yeah, they have 4. They got 2 for Amari Cooper, 1 for Amari Cooper. 1 for Khalil Mack, and their regular first round pick, and then they got another first round pick from somebody else. So, as acting GM for the Pittsburgh Steelers on 11/14 here, 2018, I want to sign Le'Veon Bell to a franchise tag. I want to bite that $25 million, which that's what I would technically be paying him right now if he would have signed that 5-year, $70 million contract. And then I would shop Le'Veon Bell. Shop him for the first-round pick, the 2 first-round picks that you're looking for. Shop him to L.A., or Las Vegas, wherever they're at. Shop him to the Raiders. I'm sure John Gruden would love a player like Le'Veon Bell behind Derek Carr, if Derek Carr's still there, which I don't think he will be. John Gruden's trying to get everybody out and bring his guys in, and Le'Veon Bell could be his team, could be his guy, build a team around him. So, Le'Veon Bell, you may think you're sticking to the man by not playing this year, holding out for a good contract. And I applaud you. Get your money, man. I know me looking for a job. I'm going to take the highest paying job. Of course, it's going to need to fit my family needs. Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, that kind of thing. But same job, same opportunities. I'm going to go for the higher paying job. And I'm not mad at you about that. People are mad about how you're handling this situation. They expect you to play this year. Granted, James Conner's doing great in your absence. He's doing a fantastic job. But Pittsburgh Steelers GM, sign this man as a franchise tag next year. Eat that $25 million. Shop him like you want to shop him. Get that first round pick. Shop him to Raiders. I don't know if they'll be the Las Vegas Raiders by then, or the LA Raiders, or Oakland Raiders, or hell, the Sacramento Raiders. I don't really care. The Raiders. John Gruden's Raiders. Shop him to there. Get your first round pick. Possibly two first round picks. Beast mode's done. You guys do what you got to do. But if I was the Pittsburgh Steelers GM, that's what I would do. Guys, this is just for clicks. Tune in tomorrow, same time as always. We'll be here, and we out.